We back, bro. It's been 14 months. I forgot what we're even called, man. What is it? The Lunch Table Podcast?
Hey, it's 10 a.m. right now. We might be brunch
Nah,
table.
we back, bro. It's good to be back on here, man. We're gonna talk about a lot. That's Chabo. I'm Davo. Yeah, here we go, bro. I'm excited to just chop it up again.
For
It
sure.
literally has been over a year. Like,
Yep.
that's crazy. That's
Probably had
crazy.
about 400 phone calls in between, but yeah, it's been a minute since we.
Yeah, I mean, we talk the same, if not more. It's
Right.
just, yeah, yeah. We watched a lot of movies too, bro.
Yep. For sure. That's probably been the biggest change, man. And 14 months ago, we both still worked at the same place, believed the same things, but we've been watching a lot more movies recently, dog.
You weren't even on Letterboxd 14 months ago, right?
I feel like I had an account, but I had never logged anything.
Mm, okay.
So we'll say no. We'll make it easy answer. We'll say no.
Bad, bro. We lit. Let's get into it, man. What you want to talk about first?
Man, I think we go 2026 releases so far. So it's probably middle of March right now.
Yeah.
Um, and there's been some decent stuff come out. Obviously they don't like front load the year with, blockbuster stuff, just to kind of let award season die down and all that type of stuff. But I mean, there's been some cool stuff, at least some unique stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
said, not many blockbusters, but some things in different genres that have definitely some of them have been, hits and appealing, and then some of them have been, kind of letdowns. But yeah, so let's talk. I feel like the best way to kind of go through this, because I know I've seen a couple more than you so far. So we can do like I can go through them from like worst to my favorite of the year so
Yeah.
far, and then the ones that we've seen together, we can kind of elaborate on a little bit more.
Bet.
So far, 2026, I've seen 9 films that have come out this year.
That
Um,
man has been on a 2026 grind.
and it's like, and they're not all like movie releases. Like I think one of them is like a TV show or like limited series, and then two of them are like documentary style, John. So it's like it's not all been just straight, feature films, but that's probably 5 or 6 of the 9. So my least favorite is one that we actually saw 2 days ago. And so my least favorite movie
Yep.
release of the year is Hoppers from Pixar. Kind of, man, come on, dude. We've talked about it on the phone. How you,
Yeah, you know why I'm laughing, bro. You know why I'm laughing.
yeah,
Oh, freak.
it's, I mean, for me, and we've talked about this at length, so I know you agree with it. Like the perfect formula for me, as far as a kids movie goes, is you've got to be entertaining and wholesome enough for the kids, but you got to be intellectual enough and and enjoyable for the adults, right? Hoppers went 0 for 2, dog. Like, it's like it was too unserious and goofy and kind of hollow thematically for adults, in my opinion. But it was too scary and too, edgy at times for little kids to watch. So I'm like, you're trying to please everybody, I think, by giving them goofy stuff and serious stuff, but you're kind of doing the opposite and counseling, each age group out, in my opinion. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's for those of you that are not familiar with Letterbox, I call it movie social media to a degree. You get on there, it's got every movie, every limited series, woo woo woo. You can rate it out of 5 stars, you can leave a review, you can tag your friends, you can follow your friends, see what they're watching. So it's an app that Davo's been on. You probably been on it for what, 5, 6 years at this point?
Let's see. I started it. I think I started junior years. I think
Okay,
four
so
years.
whenever we moved into the house. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
So, yeah, so
yeah.
you had
Shout
like
out, shout
4
out
years.
Christian Simons, bro.
A goat, a real goat.
Yeah, because
Uh,
he's the one that introduced me to it.
for sure. So yeah, a couple years, like I said, I got on mine and actually started reviewing stuff about 3, 4 months ago. Um, we'll have our letterboxed accounts linked in the description as well, so that way you guys don't have to wait on a new episode to hear what we're kind of yapping about. But in the scheme of rating stuff out of 5 stars, I gave Hoppers a 2 star, I believe. Was that the same for you, D?
Yeah, yeah. I gave it 2 stars. I'm sitting here looking to the side a bunch because I got my letterbox pulled up. Yeah, yeah. 2 stars.
So Hopper's 2 star, and the kind of the content how I do my stars. I think you agree with this for the most part, D. Is I kind of treat it like letter grades in school. So, a 4 star, that's a A. A 3 star is a B. A 2 star is a C, passing grade. Like you don't fail the class, but nobody's saying you're the valedictorian. And then 5 star, obviously reserved for kind of that, if I had to put it to like a school grade number, you're like, that's like 98 plus.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like that's some real deal. Like I'm gonna hear people out saying it's the best movie of all time, all that type of stuff. Um, so yeah, so Hopper's 2 star, gets a C, it passes. Um, I don't want to spoil it. I know it just came out, so if anybody's watching this, I don't want to spoil too much for you. But it just, we kind of talked about it a little bit. It's a little bit too all over the place. Um, yeah, just I just didn't really fully take it serious. Uh,
Mm.
so next up at the number 8 spot so far this year, I've got War Machine. I know this is one that you've been trying to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it soon.
So it's a Netflix release from a couple weeks ago. First 30 minutes, fire. Thoroughly enjoyed it, had potential through the roof. Got a little repetitive, and I won't say boring, but just be predictable and repetitive a little bit. That I didn't enjoy it as much. I think I gave it 2 stars as well, better than Hoppers, but gave it 2 stars as well. The 7 spot is another theater release. It's How to Make a Killing with Glenn Powell and I got her name pulled up on here somewhere. She's on Made. Her name is Margaret Qualley, I believe is how you say the last name. So they're kind of
Mm.
the two main people in it. Context. There's a kid. He's got like 9 older relatives. His grandpas are like multi billionaire. He basically realizes it's going to be 50, 60 years before he touches his inheritance. So how to make a killing, keyword killing. So it's pretty interesting. It was more creative than I thought it would be. A little repetitive at time, and we were trying to kill 9 family members or whatever the number is. You might get a little repetitive for the sake of efficiency, but it's they were creative enough with it, which I enjoyed. So I gave it 2.5. Next up, a movie that we've both seen at the number 6 spot. I've got The Rip.
Mm.
Which do you take the wheel on to speak on The Rip a little bit?
Yeah, the rip is kind of what it sounds. It's kind of a rip off to me. It's one of them action movies. It's kind of got a thriller feel to it, but it just loses its luster. You've got mafia movies and these mobster kind of feel movies where everything's got to tie in, everything loops with another character or another storyline, and then you just have pure action movies, Tom Cruise, like that kind of feel to it. The Rip was a blend to me. Where it didn't land was that I at least want to feel like I'm on the train tracks to begin and I can move forward somewhere. And this movie, for me at least,
Yeah.
never gave me the opportunity to like settle in to
Mm,
where we're at in the story, which again, and I'm noticing this with a lot of movies that I've seen recently, that like that's their intention. That's what they want to do. They want you to feel like unsettled in a sense. They don't want you like having a clear picture. That sounds great in theory, but then I'm like, why am I watching this if I don't understand what's going on?
for sure.
In this movie, it's not like it was some deep movie that really is making you think, and it ain't worth it. So yeah, I thought there was some decent stuff in it. Like there were some enjoyable moments for sure in the movie,
Mhm.
but yeah, it did not land for me, bro.
For sure. What'd you give it rating wise? Like
Um,
2.5, maybe?
I gave it, let's see, I gave that John a 1 star.
Sure.
So,
Um,
and just for context here, half star is the lowest rating you can give a movie.
right,
So it's half star to 5 star. Um, so I gave it the second lowest rating.
for sure. Hey,
Um,
get a whole star, man. That's better than some movies for you recently. Um, Yeah, so The Rip, I mean, I gave it 3 stars. I definitely David and I watched it at the same time. I definitely found it a little bit more enjoyable. Um, Definitely thought it was a little long for sure.
yeah, it was long. Yeah.
Kind of dragged out. It wasn't many like locations, I don't think, so that's
Mm-mm.
if we're gonna be at one location doing a large cut of the film. Like it needs to be a little bit more entertaining and, kind of plot developing. And I didn't really feel that too much. But they kind of wrapped it up better than I was expecting for sure. And it's got, a really good cast and all that good stuff. So 3 stars. Next up, I've got a documentary that Dava hasn't seen, I don't believe. It's called Kidnapped of Elizabeth Smart. I watched this probably first week of the year when it came out. Basically about this girl living out in Utah, like a little girl, like probably elementary school. And sure enough, as the title suggests, she gets kidnapped, and it's all true. And she gets kidnapped. This is crazy, true story. Yeah, they. It's not spoiling because she's on the cover. She gets back to her family, and so that's why I kind of like the documentary to a degree because the story is lit. She's not. It's not written from a journal. Like she's in front of the camera telling you what happened. So
Mm.
that was pretty cool. I believe I gave it 3.5, maybe. Top four. At 4, we got a movie, the final movie of this list that Davo and I have both seen. I've got Goat. The
I'm shocked you have it at 4.
you thought I was gonna have it lower?
Yeah.
Nah, I mean because when you think about it too, like the Rip is at 6.
Yeah, that's that's
You know what I'm
fair.
saying?
Yeah,
Like
that's fair. That's
it's like,
fair. Yeah.
nah, and I really enjoyed GOAT for real. I mean, shoot, as this list suggests, it's the best kids movie of the year. And so, shout out Steph Curry producing it. I thought the colors were beautiful. I thought the story was beautiful. Obviously, I like the game of basketball, so having a brand new 2026 basketball centric kids movie, unless you just botch the characters completely, I'm probably gonna rock with it. So yeah, it was a really good installment. Shout out to Curry. Kind of what'd you think about it, D? I know that was in your era where you were falling asleep pretty much every
Yeah, I was gonna say, bro,
movie.
there was a stretch of time where my eyes were shut for a grip. Like,
Sure.
yeah, 3 to 4 movies where I could not stay awake for more than like 2 hours at a time. So with that, like, it's hard to actually like truly review the movie or like have a certain feel for it because I don't think that I was like aware enough of the movie. I also got in late. I didn't get to see the beginning of the movie, so I think that threw me off. What I do remember about it, I thought it was solid, like for what it was going for.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, I love basketball. I
Yeah.
love Steph Curry, so it was cool to me that he produced the movie. Like that definitely added an element. And it's a kids like the same with Hoppers. It's a kids movie, so for me, I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here and try and like
Break.
break down the
Yeah.
pieces and like it. It's just different. But I thought it was good overall. Bro, what was the like brand? What was the
It
clothing that
was Under
they?
Armour, bro. Under Armour.
Bro, the Under Armour fits were insane in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I remember the most.
Right. Yeah, that's what we saw. I think I left that in my review was something like if I could actually purchase one of these like Jaguar Under Armour fits. That
Yes.
uh, top 3 so far this year. These are all bangers for real. Number 3, I've got The Dinosaurs. It's a new Netflix docu-series, kind of National Geographic style. If I'm gonna tell you 2 people that's involved in this, and if that doesn't convince you to at least give it a shot, I don't know what I can do for you. It's produced by Steven Spielberg and it's narrated by Morgan Freeman. Come on.
Mm,
It's like, and I mean, y'all know me. I'm gonna hint to another dinosaur film later, but I like the dinosaurs, bro. And so when you put the dinosaur docu-series and it's more education, it's still action, which is nice. It wasn't just straight up, camera looking at some dinosaurs eat plants. Like it's real action, and good story. But yes, it was fire. I gave it 4 stars. Number 2 is probably the first thing I watched this year. It came out like I think January 1st or 2nd. Um, is His and Hers.
mm.
It's
Yeah.
a limited series. Davo remembers when I first watched His and Hers, I called him and I was like, "Dog, I just watched a 5-star limited TV show." And he was like, "Man, what? Like TV show 5 stars? Like seriously, you tripping?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm telling you, this is fire." And after like rewatching some of it and kind of writing my review and things, I bumped it down to a 4.5. Not because Davo peer pressure me, because I've rated some things five
Yeah.
higher that we just heard it with the rip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I was peer pressured, it wouldn't have got no three.
Yeah.
But his and hers, 4.5. One of the most kind of eyeball uh enlarging finishes. The last 15 minutes of that show completely shredded any grasp I had on what had been happening for the whole season. So very, very good. His and hers on Netflix. Got Tessa Thompson, the Creed supporting actress of the year. Shout out Tessa T. And then number one, bro, it's a movie that I saw probably 3, 4 days ago at the theater. Very, very, very surprisingly impressed. The movie is called Crime 101. So I see little context because a lot of you have probably not heard of this. Davo and I have both recently become Regal Unlimited.
Yes, sir.
If you don't know what that is, pretty self-explanatory. Regal theaters, unlimited movies. You pay a little money. It boils down to about $26 a month, and you can go see whatever you want to
Yep.
at any time.
Yep.
And so I've been taking advantage. I was watching. I think I was watching How to Make a Killing a couple weeks ago, and I saw on the just the other movie options. This thing said Crime 101, and I don't know if I saw a TikTok or a tweet about it saying like, "Oh, this was surprisingly good." Whoop, whoop. And so I was like, okay, like I'll give it a shot. Like I like a little organized crime movie or whatever it is. But I was like, Crime 101, like, is this about to be like teaching you how to do crime? Or, you know what I'm saying? I was like, what's the
Yeah.
101?
Yeah.
It has to do with the 101 highway in Los Angeles. So that's why it's
I
not
didn't know that. Okay.
so that's it's there's a criminal and one of his, quote unquote patterns is he uses the 101 freeway to kind of get to and from where he's, doing his illegal business. But Crime 101, man, phenomenal movie. It's not in theaters any longer, I believe. Whenever it does come to streaming, I will most definitely be rewatching it and suggesting to Davo that he tap in. It's got Chris Hemsworth as like the main character. Mark Ruffalo is like if anybody has seen Heat, is like the 1990s film. Al
Yeah.
Pacino, Robert De Niro. It's kind of got that cat and mouse criminal cop. The storylines are separate and they just kind of close in on each other. So Ruffalo being the cop, Hemsworth being the criminal. It's got man Monica Barbaro, man. My top actress right now. I'm trying to, she was great in Crime 101. I watched Top Gun Maverick a few weeks ago, and she was in that. Phenomenal, talented, all that good stuff. I watched the movie last night that she was in. So yeah, solid cast, all them good things. Kind of extended review about that on the Letterbox page. So yeah, dude, that's 2026 releases, bro. Is there anything coming out soon that you're looking forward to, or anything that I didn't mention that you want to watch? I'm just trying to.
Uh, that's a good question. I mean, there's definitely there's always stuff I want to watch.
Right, right, right.
Not off the top of my head though, for in a sense of 2026 releases.
Gotcha.
I mean, there's definitely stuff, but at the moment, I'm not
Yeah.
thinking of anything specific.
Cool. So yeah, guys, that's we're obviously we both work in collegiate athletics. We're both going to talk about sports at length. But the movies has definitely grown as a off the clock hobby. Um,
Yeah, yeah, for
expect,
sure.
expect a lot more movie talk, which I think is cool. I feel like I feel like more people like movies than people like sports. You know what I'm saying? Like I think,
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
there's probably bigger sports fans than there are bigger movie fans, but just like in general,
Yes, that's like yeah,
I feel like the average person, if you pluck them off the street, they may not know, what an and one is, but they might know what Pixar is. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's like so there's
yeah.
going to be
I agree with
a
that.
lot more movie talk just because we're overly tapped in on that right now. So speaking on movies and the reason we're posting this Sunday afternoon, the primary facilitator on that is the 2026 Oscar Awards will begin at 7 p.m. today when you're seeing this on Sunday, March 15th. And this is the first time I'm really kind of excited because this is the first time I've ever been like really tapped in to a movie Academy Award show.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of getting like nostalgic feels to when I was a kid watching like the NFL draft or something. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like
Mm.
shows pulling up and you know who's gonna be there, you know who should get picked, woo, woo, but you're still looking for the drama. Um, so 2026 Oscars Sunday night, 7 p.m. We're gonna get into a couple things. All right. So um kind of if you haven't watched all these movies, it's cool, man. We're just trying to, treat them like NFL draft picks. You know what I'm saying? You haven't watched everybody's film, but you can still know their names and kind of be knowledgeable. So like a couple of things that I want to touch on is some smaller categories where, I just have one or two critiques of, who's nominated or who's supposed to win, whatever, whatever. Um, the first one being the documentary award. I watched a documentary. I think I watched it this year. It didn't come out, it came out last year, but I watched it this year. It's called The Perfect Neighbor. And I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure I gave The Perfect Neighbor like 2.5 stars. And it's projected I think it's projected like second place in this document. Like it's got a shot to win this documentary
Mm.
category. And essentially what it is the whole, I would say 90% of the documentary is police body cam footage. It's about this like old white lady that lives in her house, and there's like the whole rest of the neighborhood is like families. It's like the kids are outside playing, woo woo woo, and she's just like grumpy Gus coming outside, threatening the kids, whatever, whatever, whatever. And if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry, I'm about to spoil some of it for you. At the end, one of the mothers of the children goes over there to be like, hey, like, why are you throwing stuff at my kids? Why are you yelling? She's like banging on the door. And the old lady shoots her. This is real life. This is in Florida. Like the old lady shoots through her front door and it kills the lady, bro. And so like everything's building up to that. And it's like the perfect neighbor, whatever, whatever. And so I mean it's one of the top nominees, whatever, whatever. I don't really want to see it win. I haven't seen, I believe I've seen two of the five. I haven't seen the one that's projected to win, the Alabama solution. But yeah, I just for the sake of I don't know. It's kind of like we'll get into it one battle after another. Like if I'm giving something, 2 stars, like I don't want to see it win no Oscar.
Yeah.
Another category that's kind of interesting is the visual effects category. The projected winner is Avatar: Fire and Ash, which okay, that movie's 100% like CGI. I'd hope it be visual effect heavy and high quality. But like I talked about the dinosaurs earlier, Jurassic World Rebirth is also nominated. So if I see my Jurassic folks win that bull, I might have to let out a little T-Rex roar or something. Uh, but the visual effects category, that's kind of the top two. There's a movie that I'm going to see tomorrow. I think I'm gonna see it before the Oscars come out. But a little small project that Davo and I have leaned into this year is trying to see all 10 nominees for the Oscar Best Picture Award. So our Best Picture is kind of self-explanatory. It's basically they're saying here's the 10 best movies of the year, we're going to pick the best one. So Davo and I have been trying to make an effort to see all 10. The movie that I'm seeing tomorrow or Sunday, Frankenstein, is the last one that I've yet to see. So and the reason I want to see it is not only to complete that little project, but it's supposed to win 2 or 3 Oscars. It's like for I think costume design, production design, like hair and makeup, something, something.
Which
Um,
makes sense
you know
based
what I'm
on
saying?
what that movie is. Yeah.
Right, which I'm glad because I'm like, if it's obviously projected near the bottom of the poll for best picture, but if it's gonna have the best, design of any movie of last year, I think I'll definitely enjoy that on the big screen tomorrow. But now we get into the kind of 5 categories that, most people watch this show for and what we're gonna kind of talk about a little more extensively. And let's start with, supporting actress, you
All right.
know. I know a lady that was potentially going to be nominated for this did not make it. And when I look at the who did make the top 5, she could be fifth. Is Odessa. Azion from Timothy, Marty Supreme,
Oh yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
dark
yeah,
haired girl.
yeah,
She
yeah.
did not make the top five for these nominees, but she's the only one that I really had in mind that didn't show up on this list. Do you have the list pulled up in front of you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm looking at it right now.
Uh,
Elle Fanning, Inga. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the rest of her name, but Elle Fanning's from Sentimental Value, and Inga's also from Sentimental Value.
yeah,
Amy Madigan from Weapons, Wunmi Masaku from Sinners, and then Tiana Taylor from One Battle After Another.
yeah. So I think the way we can kind of do this, D, is like I can tell you who's supposed to win, and then you and I can talk about who we have watched and who we would like to win, if that
Yeah, yeah,
gets
that
you.
probably makes the most sense. Yeah,
So obviously the most likely favorite or the current front runner for this is Amy Madigan from Weapons, which funnily enough is the only movie in this category that I've not seen, and I'm not gonna see it because I don't do that scary stuff, you know. So it's a I remember Weapons was that one of those big horror movies from last year. Not really my vibe, but she is, I've heard decent things about her performance in it, so you know, she's the front runner. Of the other four people, I know you haven't seen Sinners, D, and haven't seen Wound Me, but are anybody else in that category that you kind of lean toward, or is that one that you're just not really?
yeah. I mean, I saw One Battle After Another, so Tiana Taylor's fresh in my mind in the sense of her role, but that movie just pissed me off too much.
Right.
I think my favorite character of the three movies I've seen, or the two movies I've seen, the three
Yeah.
characters or actresses that are up for this, I'd probably go with Inga.
Yep.
She's the older sister in
Yep.
Sentimental Value that I thought was like had the most common sense of anybody in the movie.
Yeah.
It was just
Or
very
she's the younger sister. The younger sister.
Inga is.
Yeah, like she was the one. She's the one that like had the husband and the kid and all that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So younger sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked her. I would my favorite actress of these three that I've seen, I'd go with Inga, but I think most people would probably say Elle Fanning or Tiana Taylor.
Yeah. I'm hearing a lot of people say Tiana talk one battle after another, bro. Is I didn't think it was a great movie. And two, I mean, like this sounds kind of like I don't know if this just sounds too obvious, but Tiana Taylor is in the first 20 minutes of that movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you're gonna get best supporting actress, and you were supporting for 20 minutes of the 2.5 hours, you know? Um, I think I like Wound Me from Sinners. I know you haven't seen that movie. I thought she was phenomenal in that. And I will say with a lot of this, I don't think she'll win this category, but recently I feel like a lot of movies have taken a downturn in popularity as far as like Oscars momentum. Marty Supreme being one battle after another kind of being one. And Sinners has taken a really last minute surge of momentum heading into the awards. So, they just had the actor awards like 2 weeks ago, and I just learned that the actors, association or whatever makes up like I think it's like 60% of the voting pool for these
Mm,
Oscars. So when I hear that, I'm like, okay, well, whoever they pick, that's probably who's going, there's probably at least a
yeah.
60% chance of who's going to win this Oscar. And so I don't remember who they picked for this category specifically, but at that award show, Sinners was getting a lot of love that people were not expecting. So, shout out supporting actress. Supporting actor on the male side, I feel like there's a couple more performances that are, I won't say memorable, but just, larger scale, kind of more universally known about. Obviously, you got Benicio del Toro from One Battle After Another. You've got Sean Penn also from One Battle After Another. You got Jacob Elordi from Frankenstein, Stellan Skarsgård from Sentimental Value, and Delroy Lindo from Sinners. So yeah, I mean, of these, you got anybody that strikes you for real?
Yeah, no, this one is 100% Stellan for me. Like I think not only is he the favorite of this list for me, while I haven't seen Elordi or Lindo's performance because I haven't seen Sinners of Frankenstein, I feel like a lot of people would agree with me saying Stellan should win it. His character was great. Like he did a really, really good job. And the way that movie was crafted, the way that he executed his role, yeah, I mean, I think Stellan Skarsgård should win this one, no doubt.
No, I agree with you. He's definitely my favorite. Like you said with Frankenstein, I haven't seen that yet. Not that I think Jacob Elordi's going to take, the candle on this for me. But Delroy Lindo from Sinners, I think he's the recent kind of push for the favorite for this award, which I would not be mad at. He's definitely in my top two, him and Stellan. So I see two, one battle after another nominees within five people, and neither one of them, you know, are guaranteed to win it. So I'm happy with that. I think and Stellan and Delroy are just phenomenal. Next up, we can do Best Actress. The female Best Actress award. There's a really, really, really heavy favorite, kind of guaranteed winner of this, but we can still speak on it. Your nominees are Rose Byrne from If I Had Legs, I Would Kick You, Kate Hudson from Song Song Blue, Renate's last name from Cinema,
Ryan Bay,
yeah, Ryan's
maybe?
or
I don't
something
know.
from Cinema. She's great. So
Yeah.
Cinema Value, Emma Stone from Begonia, and Jessie Buckley from Hamnet. So I'll kind of start this one off. D. I mean, me personally, I like Sentimental Value more than Hamnet by like a hair, but unbiasedly, objectively, Jessie Buckley is the best actress on this list.
Yeah.
Like for this performance, Emma Stone's obviously one of them OGs with a million different, good roles. But I think Hamnet, Jessie Buckley doesn't get more set up for Oscar than that.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Renate from Sentimental Value was good for sure. I think what separates the two for me in this category is how dynamic they were, and I think Jessie Buckley was a much more dynamic figure. Now, to be fair, Hamnet as a movie also just it delivers a more dynamic feel in the sense of subject matter. Well, actually,
Yeah.
I think just certain
It's
people,
it's a
sentimental
I think it's a
value.
larger spectacle. You know what
Yes,
I mean?
yeah,
It's a larger
yeah. That's
spectacle.
a good way to put it. And so for that, I think seeing Jessie Buckley's performance, yeah, I think it makes more sense for her to win Best Actress. She did a really good job. Hamnet is a movie that I plan on re. I've been saying it for like 3 weeks
Yeah.
now.
It's a commitment,
Um,
bro. It's an
I still
intense.
plan on rewatching it, but
Yeah,
I mean, the first watch it was really good. Really liked it. I few things I didn't love, but yeah, I go Jessie Buckley here.
for sure. Then we flip to the male side with Best Actor. This is one where it could really go, two or three different ways realistically. It's nominees Ethan Hawke from Blue Moon, Wagner Mora from The Secret Agent, Leonardo DiCaprio from One Battle After Another, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, and Timothy Chalamet from Marty Supreme. So what's your kind of thoughts, D? Who do you lean towards? I know you haven't seen Sinners, so that kind of throws,
Yeah.
the thing a little bit. I know you don't want Wagner Mora to win it for Secret Agent.
No.
And then obviously Leonardo, we talked about it last night. You liked his performance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
You
think
saw
his
the
acting was
positive.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
Um,
was a good actor in the movie.
I think those top three of Chalamet, Michael B. Jordan, and DiCaprio is definitely the top three. Michael B. Jordan recently won the actor award for, best actor performance or whatever. My take on this has been my take on this since I saw Marty Supreme in December. If you put Jonathan Majors or some other person as Smoke and Stack from Sinners, I think the movie is still very successful. If you don't have Timothy Chalamet, Marty Supreme is never spoken about at the
And
Oscars.
that's true. Yeah, that's a good
And
point.
I mean, Timothy Chalamet acted his tail off, bro. Yeah, I mean, like it's gonna take a fat amount of time, or at least a fat amount of effort for him to have another career defining performance like Marty Supreme. And I also think it's, the way this kind of comes from me. I love Michael B. Jordan in Sinners. I think he's fun. If he wins this award, I'm cool with that. My thing with Chalamet is just like Marty Supreme was such a special moment and such a unique movie and film that seeing it potentially not winning any awards or getting any consideration besides this one, this category is, I'm like, come on, man. Like, Marty Supreme is not a better movie than Sinners, I don't think. Marty Supreme is not a better movie than Hamnet. It's not a better movie than Sentimental Value. It's not a better movie than Train Dreams. We'll get into all of that in a second. But
Stranger.
come on, man. But Timothy Chalamet is the best actor of any of those films, and had the best performance. He made Marty Supreme what it was. So I want Chalamet to win. Michael B. Jordan is probably the uptick favorite now. I'm cool with either one of them. Honestly, if either one of them get it, I'm chilling. But as far as personal bias goes, I gotta lean Timmy. Um,
So two things. First off, I agree. I mean, Marty Supreme was about ping pong. Like, let that settle in. That was well, it wasn't about
yeah,
ping pong.
that's the
Let me
step.
rephrase that. The
Yeah,
movie was definitely not about ping pong,
right,
but that was ping pong was a big piece of the movie.
right.
And you're 100% right that if Chalamet is not the actor there, the movie is just not nearly as dynamic. The directing style of this movie lends itself to a actor that has a certain amount of punch in their delivery that is not normal, I would say. You've got to be a very niche actor.
Mhm,
And Chalamet was that niche actor for this film, for sure. Because you've got to have charisma, you've got to be a little annoying.
mhm.
There's got to be a lot of layers. So
Yeah.
because of that, I agree. I want to ask you, because we both really like Train Dreams. Did you feel like Robert Grenier deserved, or Joel Edgerton, Robert Grenier's character, did you feel like he should have been in this nominee list?
Um, Biasly, absolutely, bro. But even if he was nominated, I don't think he should win it. But I would have liked to see a nomination, man. I don't think Train Dreams is really getting much love as far as like stretched across multiple categories. I haven't seen Blue Moon that Ethan Hawke is nominated
Yeah,
from. So
yeah,
the easy answer is like, oh yeah, sure, slide him in for the dude that I haven't even watched. But I mean, obviously, Train Dreams is. We'll get into it in a second when we get the best picture. But that's one of the ones. So yeah, I mean, I think it would have been cool to see him for sure. I can't necessarily say he was better than Chalamet or Michael B. Jordan or DiCaprio. I don't think the acting is what made Train Dreams for me. You know what I'm saying? So I
yeah,
don't
yeah. I
I don't
agree.
know. I don't know if that's the area that I would, try to magic genie that movie into. Um, but great question though, Shay. You know I love
Yeah, and you're right. You're right. I agree. I agree with that response.
Best director, second to last category here. Um, man, you got some heavy hitters, dog. Like, I mean, every one of these films is big. You know what I'm saying? It's like the nominees are Paul Thomas Anderson from One Battle After Another, Josh Safdie from Marty Supreme, Yoam Trier from Sentimental Value, Chloe Zhao, Hamnet, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. So since you've seen four of these five, do you take the reins on this and who you like,
Yeah.
why?
What I really like about this specific um, nominees list and this specific direction is looking at every single one of these movies and the directors that made it, they are all very poignant films. And what I mean by that is they're sharply made.
Mhm,
Sentimental Value has a very like niche direction that it wants to go, and it went exactly there.
mhm,
Hamnet is a big picture film,
mhm,
but if we're being honest, at its core and at its root, it was not made in a big picture way.
No.
which I really appreciate. It wasn't flashing guns and smoke.
Yeah.
Um, Marty Supreme, if you've seen other Safdie brother films,
Mm.
you understand that his directing style is very unique and it's fast paced. It is just he wants you to feel anxiety is the
Yeah.
best way I would put
For
it
sure. Yeah.
when you
No doubt.
watch a Safdie movie.
Yeah. They're very claustrophobic.
Uncut Gems is a great example of that. One battle after another. While there's a lot of things I hate about it, I will give it this from a purely like filmmaking perspective, um, and what it takes to make a film, camera shots, pacing, music, characters, narratives, and stories, and intertwining all those little pieces together. I think One Battle After Another did all of that well. My issue is I just didn't like the subject matter.
Yeah.
I didn't appreciate where they went with it. So I'm circling around your question because I wanted to highlight what
No, for
each
sure.
of
That
these
was great.
films bring.
Yeah.
Because they are all, yeah, they're all different and they're all very dynamic movies.
Mhm.
Man, this one is tough for me.
Because I want you to pick.
I think I would go sentimental value. I'm not sure I've landed on a pick here, but yeah, this is one that I might need to think about for the rest of the day and have an updated answer.
Yeah.
But right now, I'd go sentimental value
Yep.
because that movie is not easy to direct.
Mm-mm.
Like
At
you're
all. I mean, you're
the
directing a
way,
movie about a movie director, low key.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like you're having to direct
yeah.
the film within the film you're directing. Like it's yes.
And I'll be honest, Timothy Chalamet gets more credit than Josh Safdie to me in Marty
Yeah.
Supreme.
Yeah.
Um, I don't like a lot of times to me the director and the main and the crew, the cast
Hmm.
are one and the same. That it ebbs and flows. One gives, the other takes. Like it's yin and yang. You got to have both.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think it was that equal scale for Marty Supreme. I think Timothy Chalamet was the
Yeah.
reason the movie was a big hit, and Safdie did a lot of things well. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Um, but Chalamet is what set it apart.
Mm.
So yeah, long answer. I like sentimental value though because I appreciated the movie was not it was not trying to pull people in just for the sake of them enjoying the movie. It was a very handcrafted movie in the sense of relationships.
Hmm.
Um, and it wasn't an English film, which definitely changes things too. Like you have to take that into
Yeah.
account.
It makes you lock in
Um,
every moment, bro, because you
and
have to.
and if we're being real, I feel like every character was a side character in a
Yeah.
good way, in a
Yeah.
good way.
For sure.
And that tells me something about the directing of it
Hmm.
that you built a good enough story to where I don't feel like I need to latch on to a character. I'm
That's
more latched on to the narrative of the film. And that's what sentimental value is literally about. So,
yeah, that's a good
yeah.
bar. Yeah. Um, From my side of things, I've seen all five of these movies. And I've tried to kind of separate, and you did a great job of it. I try to kind of with this one separate how much credit of the film, if I rank these in order on how much I like the films, it's going to be a different answer than
Yes. Yeah.
directing. And so I think the best directing of these five has to go to Ryan Coogler for Sinners. And I
Mm.
know that's the one that you haven't seen. So, obviously it's not like you're saying sentimental value is better. You just haven't seen the Sinners one.
Yeah.
I say Ryan Coogler is just a phenomenal job. And I kind of say that and sentimental value would be my second pick. It's neck and neck. I just think what Sinners did was more impressive.
Mm.
I think, how do I say this? I'll use basketball as an example. If somebody drops 35 in a mid-major basketball game in front of 100 fans, that's one thing. That's just pure empty gym hoops. If somebody drops 35 in the Final Four, biggest stage, that's crazier. And that's how I kind of feel about Sinners is you pushed in a lot of chips on cast, you pushed in a lot of chips on budget, you pushed in a lot of chips on marketing, and you killed. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's why I give Ryan Coogler so much credit on top of just the pure artistry that that man put on the pad in Sinners, dude. Like it's what we talked about Josh Safdie. When I think about Marty Supreme, I'm not thinking about the way that scene was shot or
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm thinking about charismatic moments of Timothy Chalamet.
Right.
Think about
Right.
Sinners. Michael B. Jordan could very likely win the Best Actor award tomorrow night. And still, my biggest remembering moments of Sinners are the way things are shot and moments of color and moments of movement and all of that, and it's like it's cinematography that I respect and remember and appreciate most about Sinners. And that has to go to credit to Ryan Coogler in this sense. So
Mm.
I'd say Ryan Coogler gets my nod for the dub here. Sentiment of Value is really close. I would obviously rather watch Sentiment of Value than Sinners just because I'm not trying to watch vampires every day of the week. But the other Chloe Zhao did a phenomenal job with Hamnet, like you said. It was a more intimate story and kind of intimate, mood and vibe, but she did it so well that it became this big stage film. Marty Supreme, Josh Safdie is nice, you know what I'm saying? He like you said with the niche, he kills his niche, and there are people that would die on the hill that he's their favorite director and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm glad that he's here, for the sake of Marty Supreme getting nods as it should. I mean, then Paul Thomas Anderson, bro, really good director, good quality. One Battle After Another was a good looking movie. I just like I agree with you. I'm just not really trying to listen to what it's talking about all the time. So yeah, so that's the
Mm.
favorite to win is Ryan Coogler. Paul Thomas Anderson is right on his heels. That one sounds kind of like a 50-50 toss. I'm definitely interested on Oscar night to see who actually gets that award because it's not a runaway train at all. And that brings us to the final category, bro. The one that takes home the metaphorical biggest trophy, the 2026 Best Picture Oscar Award. I don't know how you want to do this, dude. We didn't really talk about this before we hopped on here, but I mean, do we I don't know if we should rank the 10. I don't know if it gets that deep.
Mhm.
But just I mean, what films or what film I don't because I don't even know if we've talked about what we think should win or like what our
No,
favorite
we haven't.
is.
No,
So
we haven't. We
so
haven't.
I'm kind of interested. I mean, you can talk on that. If you wanna if let's say a movie is not your favorite, but you still want to comment on it, just do what you want to do, man.
Okay. So I'll just quickly, I've seen 7 of the 10 Best Picture nominees. So I'm just gonna, matter of fact, I'll do it this way. Um, I'm going to just rank. Yeah, I'll rank the 7 I've seen. Actually, I'm not gonna rank them. I'm sitting here thinking on the fly here. I'll just quickly go down the list. Quick thought. F1, really like the movie. Racing is a tough one for me, and I thought they really, really, you talk about a film like cinematography. I thought F1 was some of the best cinematography I've seen in quite a while. The acting was good in it. F1 checked like all the technical boxes for me, and not even just technical. I enjoyed it. It was a good, fun movie.
Yeah.
Um, Hamnet is amazing. Hamnet, I think, is what I'll tell you is the best picture,
Okay.
just from its grandeur. The acting was, for the most part, the acting was solid. I'm not sure I'm sold on I'm blanking on his name, but the guy, the husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm 100% sold on his character, but Hamnet was a good movie. Marty Supreme, we just talked about it.
Mhm.
Chalamet delivers a really good performance. It's a thrilling movie. Um, there's not many scenes that you like take your eyes off the screen.
Mhm.
One battle after another just pissed me off. It's a 2 hour, 41 minute long film. I think in the sense of time, I wasn't like sleepy or kind of super checked out. But it tried to say a lot, and then in the same breath, it said nothing. And that's my issue with a lot of these films is they try to like stand on some moral ground, but
Mm-hmm.
they don't. I mean, they don't have any soil. Like there's nothing that they're really standing on outside of the world is bad, people are bad, and we don't know what to do. I don't think that's the answer. Well, I know that's not the answer. And whenever you try to make a movie that speaks about real life things
Mm-hmm.
and tries to talk about things that matter, um, you you can't just have messages that are so twisted and honestly demonic in a lot of ways. And I'm just not gonna let it slide. Secret Agent was it people that have seen it, which I'm not sure there's gonna be many that are watching this podcast, to be honest. All I'll tell you is there's a scene that involves a leg, and it alone was enough for me to give the movie a half star. It was horrible. Um,
Yes.
And the movie never, I talk about like landing somewhere with a movie, like understanding what's going on. Secret Agent is one of those movies where you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it takes a lot of, even if you pay a lot of attention, like I did,
Yeah, it,
whatever, I was still
yeah.
like, yo, like this is
And that knocks it down for me. Sentimental Value, we've touched on, great movie. Train Dreams was really good too. My top three is definitely Hamnet, Sentimental Value, and Train Dreams, with Marty Supreme being very, very, very close within that list as well.
for sure.
I think the one I enjoyed the most would be Hamnet or Train Dreams, actually, funny enough.
Okay.
But I think in the sense of best picture, accounting for everything, I feel like Hamnet, man. Personally, I want to say Train Dreams
Okay.
because the more that I think about the movie, the more that I resonate with it, the more that I appreciate it. Um, the more that I think about Hamnet, I'm not sure I'm like resonating with it more. I'm just like, yeah, that's
Mm,
exactly what it was. This is a really powerful, good movie. If you look at it through the right lens. So yeah, another long answer from me, but I'm gonna say Hamnet. I
okay.
think I think my two personal favorites though are Sentimental Value and Train Dreams
Okay.
of these pictures. But I think Hamnet will win, maybe. Well, I don't know what's gonna win,
I
but
don't think
I would say technically Hamnet should probably get it.
got you. Well, that's funny because I'm seeing Frankenstein Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon. And then I'll have watched all 10. And and it's funny because my top two, like personally, are the same as yours. I got Train Dreams at my one, and I got Sentiment of Value at my two. So Hamnet is at third. I got Sinners at four, Marty Supreme at five. So that's kind of my top five. I'll touch on a little bit just to give them some due diligence. Marty Supreme, dude, a lot of people, I've seen people with this, in their letterbox top four. I've seen people say it's the best movie of last year. I've saw all this woo, woo, woo. Great. And it's crazy because if you would have told me 6 months ago that Train Dreams would not be in my top three of the year, I would be like, what are you talking about? Because
Mm.
it sounds
Yeah,
like a more tailor-made, fun story, that would be entertaining on screen. And it is that. I've kind of recently realized through watching just a lot of movies this year that the a well-built, kind of masterfully crafted, it's like I don't want to say sadder story, but like a more somber, like very human
yeah,
stories. And if you look at my letterbox stats, it says that's my highest rated genre. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And it
yeah,
makes sense. Train Dreams is really sad. Like Sentiment of Value is sad. Hamnet is really sad. You know what I'm saying? And like
yeah,
my top
yeah,
three, like, because they were just done so well. And just, I mean, when I think about those three movies, um, I mean, Sinners as well in that top four. Just straight up beautiful, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just straight up
yeah,
beautiful. Like you
yeah.
can
No, I hear you. I
you
hear
can
you.
take 100 screen grabs of those movies and they're art, bro. Like so that's I really very strong here. I kind of look back at some of the best picture. list from previous years, and this year's got some of them ones. And so just as far as like deep in the roster, kind of the one that you didn't touch on that I have at number 6 is Begonia.
Yeah.
That's a very wild movie, bro. Like I watched that with my brother. It's one that I believe I gave it 3.5. Also, kind of context, if I'm not gonna rewatch something, it can't get an A. It can't get a 4 star.
Yeah.
That's my recommendation slash rewatch territory. So I don't think I'll rewatch Begonia. It's a little dark is not the word, but like I don't know. It's a little too down that road for me. So, I gave it 3.5, but it's a very good and well done film for what it is. Very intense and very plot twisty and just kind of it develops the plot well, man. And it's a wild ride, a very intense ride. So that's kind of my top ones for that. So are we saying personally, let's give an answer because I may post this
Yeah.
on the page. What is our personal winner for this? Not know what's gonna win, should win, would like what is our favorite film out of this pool?
I'm gonna go sentimental value, I think.
Okay, I'm down for that. And what I like about this kind of full circles into another category that I won't deep dive into, but luckily, I think sentimental value will walk out of the award show with a trophy if it doesn't win Best Picture. That
I
trophy,
don't think it's gonna win Best Picture though.
no, it's not going to win Best Picture. I think it's going to walk out with Best International Film.
Yeah, make it very well could.
Which I think it and The Secret Agent are like the top two. And I'm like, if you ask us, there's no question. But I just, I think Sentimental Value, I'm pretty sure it's favored to win Best International Film, which makes me happy because it deserves it. It definitely deserves that. You know what I'm saying? It deserves consideration for Best Picture that it won't get. Like, Stellan Skarsgård deserves consideration for, Best Supporting Actor that he might not get. So I'm glad it's probably going to leave with something because I can slide with that. In my mind, I was saying Train Dreams or Sentimental Value, whichever one he says, I'm cool. So Sentimental Value is The Lunch Table, Davo and Chabo Best Picture selection.
Mm, wow.
Shout out to that film, bro. I remember watching it with you probably a month ago at this point. Um, so yeah, I think we were going to talk a little bit about college basketball and mid-major basketball. I think we're going to skip that. I think we're going to come in and do a college hoops episode with March Madness getting started up in a week or so. So we'll save that. Kind of like how this one has been very movie saturated.
Which is cool.
Which is cool with me, dog. Boy, you can do this all day. Um, so we'll do that with basketball down the road. We are gonna hint at basketball though, in the sake of art. We got movies, we got basketball. We're gonna meet in the middle, do some art in the form of NBA City
Mm.
Edition jerseys this season. So for those of you that have listened to the pod way back in 2024, in the olden days, we did a segment called High
Oh,
Five. We did a segment called High Five, and it's our best. We're ranking the top five something. Today is going to be NBA City Edition jerseys from this season. Davo,
mm.
start us off, man, and we ain't got to be too long winded on this.
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you. I'm just gonna give you my favorites. Because let me just say this quickly. The unis this year, I think, are way better than last year's.
They're nice.
Way better. So there's a lot of good picks. Toronto's are fire. I love the Raptors jerseys. You've
Yep.
got the Raptor with the basketball. Interesting numbering on it, and then I like the font in the Toronto. I really like the Magic's unis. They're not super flashy, but the Magic have good colors, and I love that old school Magic font.
Mhm.
Um, so Raptors, Magic. I think the Rockets might be my favorite.
Okay,
The H-Town and
that's
that
funny.
script.
That's
And the
funny.
colors are nasty, bro. Like filthily good.
Yeah.
I'm a big Charlotte Hornets fan. I there's some people that hate the Charlotte. city unis, and I can see why because it is a very vibrant orange, neonish. It's a strong uni. I'll say
Yeah.
that. It's a very strong uni. But I really like them. And then my last one, man, I love Boston's.
Okay,
The
bro, you like
white and the
you really
gold.
like the white ones, bro. Four of your
They're
five are white ones.
yeah. I'm yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah.
I really like yeah, the Boston's unis. They're probably the most simple of the jerseys I just mentioned, to be
Mhm.
real. Like I'm not sure there's a whole lot of like craziness to it.
Yeah.
Um yeah, bro. And then I'll throw out an honorable mention here. I I do like Chicago's.
Bro, this is so funny, bro, because I've got seven jerseys written down, and you went one for seven, bro.
Are you serious?
Now
One for seven?
I went all like really colorful Johns because like
Oh man, bro. Wow.
because those impressed me. Now, context. I looked at all 30 jerseys last night, and there were two that I thought were trash. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So it's like
Yeah, yeah,
28
yeah.
to 30, which I was like surprised by because I feel like the NBA be doing some stuff that I'm like,
Yes.
is too
Yeah.
off the wall. But or Nike, I guess. But so you could have had 28 good sounding picks, you know. So it's just the ones that I screenshotted. Um, some of the ones that I screenshotted seven, but I did that like a week ago. This is a kind of a slightly chopped down list. Charlotte was the one that you said that I'm a big fan of. You know, part of me is, you know, obviously it's an alternate uniform, so you still want to be on
Yeah.
brand. But part of me is like, man, this city edition uniform, this is your chance to get with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They
Yep.
change this one every year. You know, you've got a home jersey, an away jersey, and an alternate jersey that needs to be on brand. And then you have the city jersey that's wicked. You know what I'm saying? Have a ball.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I think the Charlotte one is nice. I think that's been a cool. Um, it's been a like you said, it's a strong uniform. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna
Yeah.
feel you're either gonna really like it or you're gonna really not. And
Yeah.
we both really like it. Obviously Georgia guy. I like the Hawks one. You know the little peach
Yeah.
tree. It's smooth. It's not gonna make the top five, but I just wanted to mention it because it's still clean. I like the New York Knicks one, bro.
The next one is nice. I agree. I do like the next one.
Is I believe it's partially designed by Kith, which is one of my favorite, you know, just kind of artistic brands. But it gave me pure Carmelo Anthony era nostalgia.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I appreciated him as much when he was still playing, but like now Carmelo Anthony is one of my favorite players. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that would and that's just a clean uni, bro. Like when I
I
see
feel
that
that. Yeah.
uniform, I just see Madison Square Garden, Carmelo getting jumpers up. You know, that's just what I feel from that. Um, the Pacers one is cool. I think it looks a little bit more
Yeah.
historic. Um, and then my final two are the Timberwolves and it's like the purple with the pink letters.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the reason, I mean, they're just clean on their own. I like, you know, the Timberwolves as a roster, but apparently the reason it's purple and whatever is Prince, the artist. I think he lived in Minnesota or he was from Minnesota. He like showed love to Minnesota, and so it's a Purple Rain homage.
Mm. Mm.
So I think that's cool. And then my final one is this might have to make a top five because it's cold, man. That Washington Wizards gold
I
stripe.
was gonna mention the Wizards. I do like the Wizards uni.
That's
I do like the
nasty,
Wizards
bro.
uni.
That's so nasty. I love
I'm with you on that one.
back when they were like the fade. I mean, kind of like the, you know, shout out CSU, baby. When they were that faded blue and gold, man, that was when they had John Wall early, Gilbert
Yeah.
Arenas old, Nick
Yeah.
Young. Yeah, I like that color scheme. And so that jersey kind of threw it back to me for that.
Smooth.
Um, so you know what? I'll say for me, the only ones that I just guaranteed want to make it are Charlotte,
Yeah.
Washington, and then I'm gonna fight for New York.
All right. He's gonna fight
But
for it. Okay.
but
I
but
would say the
I could hear you out though.
The one to me, the one that has to be in from my vantage point is the Rockets, the
Okay.
H Town.
Okay.
I think it's super slick. I'm gonna be real too, bro. I think the Raptors uni is so underrated. Like it is very unique. It might be the most unique jersey of
Yeah.
any in
Yeah.
this city edition slate. Big because of how big the logo is. Like it's just yeah, it's very different from the other jerseys. I'm cool with Washington and Charlotte being in
Bet.
for sure. So I think there's two right there. H Town, there's three. And then yeah, I mean I'm a fight for Toronto.
Yeah, I think
And
if we both,
then we can put New York.
yeah, I think that's a smooth five.
Now we just need to rank them, order
Yeah.
them.
I was how do I say this? Since Charlotte is the one that we both mentioned, do we Venn diagram that boy and give it the number one spot?
I'm okay with that. We both
I
mentioned it, so I think we should.
bet. All right, Charlotte number one. Number two, that Houston one is really clean, bro.
It's like to be honest, it's almost like the opposite of the Charlotte uni.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
that could easily work in their normal rotation.
it's like a minimalist, very slick jersey. The font is classic.
Mhm.
And it's like red, white, and blue. It's your prototypical sports colors, to be
Yeah,
real.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like Charlotte and H-Town at the top two.
After that, so we got New York, Toronto, Washington. Hmm.
Mm.
I think New
I think
York. I think
Toronto might be number five.
Toronto. Oh, okay. I was about to say New York five. Okay, okay, okay. So yeah,
Oh, well,
we could
I
do
think Toronto and New York are four and five. I think I like Washington more than those.
bet. So Washington three, and then I'm gonna say Toronto four for the sake of the New York one is more so like you're just bringing back an old jersey. The
Yeah,
Toronto one
yeah,
looks more creative and unique and like distinctively a city edition jersey. So for
yeah,
that,
yeah.
I'll lean Toronto four and New York five, and that's a
I
smooth.
like that. I like that. Now I'm ready for this graphic you're finna, because I already know you're gonna cook up a graphic for this
Oh,
one,
that
bro.
boy
I'm ready to see.
Lamelo, Lamelo. Yeah, overly, overly. So yeah, cool. Let's get into the last thing. This is something new that we're gonna kind of try out or just get to when we, have something we're listening to. It's called the Radar Radio. Pretty self-explanatory, man. What's been on our radar? What we're trying to put on your radar? What's been playing on the car speakers, man? Davo, you go first. You can do, song, artist, album.
Yeah.
You've been playing, man.
Yeah, man. I listen to a lot of different music, but to keep this short, there's a band slash artist slash group. I don't know really how you define them, but they're called Brothers Moving, and they've got a song. And this is a popular song in general, so I think it's more so just a cover by them, to be real. But it's called Minnie the Moocher, and it's such a different sounding style of music, and bro, it's just fire. Like I play it in the car, and it makes you want to move. It's good, bro. So yeah, quick answer there, but Brothers Moving, and they've got a few other songs I started listening to, but Minnie the Moocher was the one that like introduced me essentially to them.
I'm gonna go with the album. Today is Saturday, so this came out yesterday, on Friday. It's an album called A Broken Love Story, and the album is by FMF RJ, who was the point guard at Charleston Southern my first year at CSU. Um,
R.J. Johnson?
yeah, RJ Johnson. Yeah. So I mean, RJ's my guy. We talked about it kind of back and forth over text yesterday. I saw him kind of post some promotion of it. And I'm a R&B guy at heart, man. So and he, he releases music and a lot of it's very rappy. And but then he was like R&B album, and I'm like, okay, like if you do this right, RJ, like I'm actually gonna be listening to this heavy. And so he put it out, and it's phenomenal, dude. It's and I texted him this. I was like, listen, I'm not saying this out of some like, oh, I gotta show love to RJ. Like, no, like this is genuine music that I would play if I knew you were.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
And so it's very good. A Broken Love Story. Yeah, shout out to the I ain't gonna say what my favorite songs are, tracks are. I'm gonna let that if you listen to it, I'm gonna let you have a blank slate on which ones you like. But yeah, A Broken Love Story, man. FMF RJ, shout out 22.
Dang. Let's get it, bro. That closes it out.
Come on, man.
Episode 14, right?
Yeah.
14?
Yeah, we got less
Wow.
than a minute left on this Zoom call. I'm about to go eat some brunch. Lunch Table Podcast. We out of here.